This right here is the KSO Show, your home for K-State coverage. Stay current on what's happening in the Wildcat world of sports. By the end, you might want to tell your friends about us. Or not. But hey, you should. Let's get it.
Welcome to a bit of a unique edition of the KSO Show, brought to you by the Tallgrass Tap House, located at 320 Points in Manhattan. This is Matt Hall. Realized that being out on the road, I would have no real opportunity to create a pregame podcast of any sort for K-State's battle with West Virginia Monday night in Morgantown. So as I make the drive, I'm just past, I'm not quite sure. I know I'm past St. Louis into Illinois. I thought I'd spend a few minutes on the phone recording this, have Flando use his magic to upload it back home and give you a bit of a preview version of the KSO Show for this game. Of course, K-State will play the Mountaineers with a half-game lead, a game lead of the loss column over the likes of Kansas, Iowa State, and Texas Tech after suffering a tough loss to the Cyclones at home on Saturday. Tough not just in the sense that Iowa State won by 14 thanks to a red-hot shooting night, but also because K-State loses Dean Wade with a right foot, perhaps right ankle injury. Late in that contest, the Wildcats had it as close as 2 in the second half. I think we're down 4 when Wade went out. Either way, after that point, Iowa State continued to be red hot from deep. The Wildcats could not keep up, really relying just on Barry Brown's offense. Dropped a game to Iowa State, and that, of course, erased one of the games they had as an advantage in the loss column over those foes. But K-State had the chance to get back on track Monday night in Morgantown. The Wildcats will certainly lack depth, as I don't expect Dean Wade to play. That may already be out there as I'm driving right now, but I don't expect that he'll play. Obviously, Cartier-Jada will be out. So K-State's going to have, basically 7 guys who they're going to feel good about using in the rotation. When I say feel good, that includes a guy like Sean Neal-Williams, who hasn't seen a ton of action but has played in each of the last 2 games. And, of course, Levi Stockard, a little bit more experienced of a player, has seen more minutes and will have to play. The question's going to be, for me, beyond that, does K-State try to add an 8th man to its rotation? I would expect the Wildcats likely to start Cam Stokes, Barry Brown, Mike McGurl, Xavier Sneed at the 4, going small, and then McCall Wayne, of course, at the 5, bringing Sean Neal-Williams and Levi Stockard off the bench. But there's a couple questions I have. Do you try to work an 8th man into the rotation and be ready for this game? Do you try to give 5 to 10 minutes to a guy like James Love or Austin Trice or even a Pearson McAtee if you think that they can help you in a small dose in this road game? I would be interested to see if K-State gets one of those names, one of those types ready to add to the 7 men. Best case scenario for K-State is the Wildcats don't really suffer any foul trouble. They're not playing a significantly deeper team in West Virginia either. The Mountaineers down basically 4 starters. If you think of the issues with Sags Kanate, Beetle Bolden, and the dismissals of, I believe, Wesley Harris and Issa Ahmad. So this is not a deep team either. And it's the worst team in the Big 12. They're coming off a blowout loss at the hands of Kansas. This is the last place team. So if you're going to be K-State and you're forced to play a game without Dean Wade, without Cartier-Jada, and to be, really this tight in your rotation, this is probably the best opponent to do it to do it against. The question is it, an ideal venue to do it at? It's not. I don't expect it to be a great atmosphere tomorrow night in Morgantown by any stretch, but the Wildcats have really struggled here in this Brown, Stokes, Wade era, have not been able to be successful here, and typically haven't been close. So even though it's a team that doesn't look like one that should pose a significant challenge for K-State, the combination of the depth issues, the venue, the short travel time, of course, it's just a 48-hour turnaround from playing a home game in Manhattan, Kansas, and a road game at Morgantown, West Virginia. So it's certainly going to be a challenge on those levels. I think K-State's going to have to really look at Barry Brown in this game, which is not a surprise, but probably more than normal. I think back to a game last year against Oklahoma State at home when Barry had to go for, I believe it was 38, and really be the focal point when K-State was dealing with some things. I don't think it's going to have to be as big of an output to win as it was in that game. I think as I get to my pick a little bit later on, this will be a more low-scoring game. And if somebody's giving K-State 30, the Wildcats would be more than fine. But Barry did score 23 in the loss to Iowa State. He was pretty efficient. He was 10 of 15, I believe, from the field. So he's still playing well. He looked a little more aggressive than he was in either the Baylor or the Texas game, so hopefully he's getting a little bit more healthy. The Wildcats had been dealing with a flu bug, a variety really of illnesses. I'm just defaulting to the flu bug, including through the coaching staff for the last week. You have to have some hope that continues to improve as time goes on and isn't something K-State's really still dealing with. But I think the Wildcats, like I said, will have to work through Barry Brown. They're going to need fellow experienced guys like Cam Stokes and Xavier Sneed to shoot the ball better than each of them did against Iowa State in the loss. Both had shot it well at Texas, so it's not like they've been cold for a long period of time, but they didn't shoot it very well in their opportunities against the Cyclones. You'd think they're still going to get some chances to get looks against this West Virginia team. Also could have a chance to really hurt these guys on the boards. West Virginia, without the names I mentioned, really Kanate specifically, of course, Harris and Ahmad, those are three of their best rebounders. That's something Bob Huggins remarked after losing Ahmad and Harris for the rest of the year after being kicked out of the program at that point. So that's another place where I think K-State can really hurt West Virginia. So if you're looking for a couple of keys from me, it's, of course, having Barry Brown have a big day offensively, getting some production from Xavier Sneed and Cam Stokes, and winning the battle of the boards. That's something K-State should have done against Iowa State, at least according to the statistics, and they didn't really do that. So if K-State can't do it here, that would cause a problem just like it did against the Cyclones on Saturday in Bramlage. I'm going to wrap up this quick little edition of the KSO show that I'm going to attach to the preview of K-State West Virginia in the KSO Game Center by giving you my score. I do think K-State pulls it off in Morgantown despite the lack of depth, despite the short turnaround. K-State's just a significantly better team, 1 through 7, if that's all you're going against West Virginia's top 7. They have so much more to play for. I think they're better coached right now. I think K-State wins a low-scoring game, 59-54, to move to 10-3 in the Big 12 before getting a little bit of rest before another winnable home game against Oklahoma State on Saturday. Thanks for listening to this. Always appreciate the Tallgrass Tap House, Harry's in Manhattan, as well as Bourbon and Baker for sponsoring the KSO show. Enjoy the game, and maybe tell your friends.